Authorities have ruled her death a suicide.
So Senate Republicans are now taking action against Planned Parenthood, fast-tracking a bill that would cut off federal funding to the organization after a third extremely graphic video surfaced yesterday that seemed to show a top Planned Parenthood official discussing the sale of unborn baby body parts. Many Republicans saying that these videos are evidence that something must be done.
There are many pro-choice Americans who are horrified by this because they don't think of abortion as turning the baby around and harvesting baby parts and showing kidneys and livers and lungs and hearts that are then being resold.
Today is a time for action. Today, the U.S. Department of Justice should open a criminal investigation into all of those individuals.
Joined now by Mike Slater, the host of the Mike Slater Radio Show, and Marjorie Clifton, a former consultant to the Obama campaign and principal of Clifton Consulting. Welcome to both of you. It's good to have you both here today.
Thank you.
You know, this has raised so many questions because, you know, the existence of these videos and the horrible pictures that we all saw yesterday, which nobody wants to have to look at, but they do demonstrate the facts of how these procedures are done. And it raises a question about who we are, what's important to us, and what we're willing to fund. $500 million to Planned Parenthood. And all of that prompted Bill O'Reilly last night to say this. Let's watch.
There comes a point where Americans have to decide what kind of country they can tolerate. Whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, the undercover video showing Planned Parenthood bargaining over the price of dead babies before they're even extracted from the womb is grisly beyond belief. Yet there's no remorse from Planned Parenthood, and the White House is standing by them.
All right, Marjorie, let's start with you. Has any of this changed your feelings about this topic?
Well, my feelings about this topic have always been a hard one, from my personal ones versus what the practicalities of this issue actually are. And I think the challenge with this is this video is hard to watch for anyone because we're seeing the inside of, frankly, a medical practice that is a hard reality. There is no one who is pro-abortion. That stance doesn't exist. The issue and the question at hand, and again, what these videos, and let me also say, by the way, that the actions of that Planned Parenthood official were not appropriate, and they were not. They were making something that was very grave and very serious not feel that way. And that is why emotionally this is a hard thing. The topic of abortion, however, has become one that we've politicized to make black and white. And the realities of abortion are very different than just a law. What we know is that abortion rates are actually lower the better the economy and the support systems and education systems we have in place for women. During the Clinton administration, parts of the Bush administration, regardless of the legality, abortion rates were lower when the economy was good. And I think what we need to be thinking about is, again, how are we there for women when in these difficult times where they feel compelled to make this kind of a decision? I haven't ever encountered a woman who said that's something, a choice I'd want to have to face, or reality that I wouldn't have to see through. And that is what we need to be talking about as a country and thinking about. Again, are the women this is impacting and how this feels to them and what we can do to support them. I understand what you're saying.
You also have to think about the babies because, you know, what technology has afforded us in recent years. You know, I think back to when I had my first child, you could barely see. It was just a fuzzy sonogram, black and white. I could barely see the baby. It's not like that anymore. We know what they look like at 10 weeks, at 8 weeks. And so we can't pretend that we don't know that anymore. And that's where we're at today. That's why we need to reevaluate and think all of this through. Mike, I'll let you in here.
Yeah, lower abortion rates, that's good, still way too high. And this is why I encourage everyone who is disturbed by this video to contact your local crisis pregnancy center. These are pro-life pregnancy centers that meet women where they are, work with them through their pregnancy, and then after they give birth to their beautiful children. We've been saying for a long time, we can't combat Planned Parenthood unless we shower women with the love that they deserve and also lift up the Planned Parenthood alternatives. And that's these pro-life centers. Now, part of that also is not giving federal funding to Planned Parenthood in the meantime while they're still giving abortions.
All right, that's going to turn into a war on women discussion. And unfortunately, because of the breaking news we had, I hope you'll come back because we need to do the political side of this, the funding side of this as well, and how it's going to translate in the election. So we'll do that next time. Thank you very much, both of you, for being here today.
Thank you.
So you heard it. The NFL sticking with its decision, benching Tom Brady for a good chunk of this season. Patriots owner